Former Fox News anchor Ed Henry filed a lawsuit against his former employers at the network this week, alleging that they defamed him when they fired him roughly a year or so ago over alleged harassment claims by a former employee. This is Fox News on why they fired Henry. On Thursday, June 25th, we received a complaint about Ed Henry from a former employee's attorney involving willful sexual misconduct in the workplace years ago. We immediately retained an outside law firm, which has never represented Fox News in investigations or litigation, to independently investigate the claims. Ed was suspended the same day and removed from his on-air responsibilities pending investigation. So that was the statement that Fox News had put out. And their CEO, Suzanne Scott, who is specifically named in the defamation suit being filed by Ed Henry, was the one who made these statements. Like, listen, we got the claims that came in from a former employee, said it happened years ago. We did our due diligence. We hire this law firm. They investigate. They tell us, yes, it does seem credible. Henry was suspended, obviously, as soon as the complaint came in, pending investigation. Investigation said, yeah, it looks like it happened, so we fired him. Boom, end of story. Well, Ed Henry denies that any of this actually took place, any of the workplace sexual misconduct, not the investigation. So he says, by giving this credence and firing me for this reason, you have actually defamed me. Now, Ed Henry, I have not seen the investigation. I was not a part of the investigation, so I really can't tell you what's in there, but I can tell you, you have a massive uphill legal battle ahead of you that you are likely to never win. If what Fox News is saying is true, if they did do their due diligence and hire this outside firm, your case is already toast before it even goes to court, buddy. There's nothing you can do at that point. If they did what they're saying they did, it's over. You may not like it, but that's the way these things work. However, we also know that Fox News, and in fact did a segment on it earlier this week, they do have a history of covering up these kinds of things. And by the way, that is actually something that Ed Henry did mention in the lawsuit against them. And as we found out earlier this week from the New York Commission on Human Rights, yeah, that happens a lot at Fox News. And Suzanne Scott has not changed the culture at that network. Again, we talked about that in a segment earlier this week. So maybe Henry does have a case here. Who knows? All we know, and the reason this story is important today, same reason it was important a couple days ago, is that this is in fact the culture at Fox News. Culture of harassment, culture of cover-up, culture of payoffs, culture of ignoring things until they get too big to ignore. That's what happens at Fox News. That's what the New York Commission on Human Rights found. That's what all of these other lawsuits have proven. Now Ed Henry's, obviously he's fighting back against the network, so we'll see how this plays out. Obviously we can't say one way or another which side is telling the truth. That's going to be up for the courts to decide. But Henry, I don't know, man. If Fox News did in fact do an investigation and still fired you, doesn't look like your lawsuit is going to have much of a chance of success at all. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.